What's up guys, and welcome back to another video. Progress in the Golf again. I went and I bought some coil brackets, got the motor fitted, just an update of what happened. Managed to get the piping back on, cleaned up some of the wiring, or not me, my brother cleaned up some of the wiring that was sitting here. So now I still need to go get the positive cable for the battery, the negative cable for the battery. I'm gonna be stripping off the paint of this tappet cover now, get this braces cleaned up a bit. That's the paint stripper that I'm going to use. So after that's cleaned up, I'm going to paint it. So after the paint, I'll put that back. I've got a new valve cover gasket for it that I need to put up, and then I'm not sure if I said in the last video, but the hubs, CV8s, you'll be able to see, but the CV part is too small for the hubs, so I bought bigger hubs, so the Golf is getting new CV joints on the hub side. So I'm going to be replacing that. I managed to put up the alternator with a new belt. I also managed to put all the linkage in, and then after everything, I'm going to check if we can get this probably the car started in the next video. If the car starts in the next video, I need to go buy the branch for it, get the branch fitted, weld it up to the rest of the exhaust pipe again, and then drive it down for paint. So I got the quote from the paint, everything is ready. I just need to get the car rolling, and then as soon as that's going to happen, the car's going in for paint. After the paint, wiring, finishing the wiring, and then everything should be ready to go. Okay boys, so as you saw now, we did actually, we painted the valve cover gasket with the paint stripper. So we're going to leave it a few minutes. Let me just show you how it looks like after a few minutes now. You guys can see it's busy. Looks like it's boiling. So we're going to leave it for a few more minutes. After that, we'll wash it off. If it's washed off, we'll prime it and then paint it, and then I will probably see if I can paint the top section of the cam belt cover on the side, radiator, fan cowling, and also get that painted, taken off and painted. So I'm probably going to prime that and paint that also, just so everything looks neat and nice for a new owner. Remember guys, if you guys watching this video, I am busy. I am going to sell this Golf afterwards, based in Pretoria region. So if you guys are interested, maybe in the car after paint work and stuff like that, just drop me a comment down below, or look for my details in the about section of YouTube. I'll drop in the shop email address there. Okay boys, so I decided to do the valve cover like I showed you previously. Now I added the cowling, fan covers, and then the cam belt cover. So you can see how it starts bubbling, and okay boys, so if you can see, this is after coat number 1 on the paint stripper. So some areas it didn't actually take nice, so I'm gonna do another coat of it. The valve cover didn't come up to bad, but I have to get rid of all this rust before we can paint. So there's another batch. Let's start doing this again. So boys, so I had to go offload my camera because it was full up. So while that was busy doing, I actually finished sanding down all the parts and prime and painted it. So there you can see everything is nice and white. It's probably not the best choice as for the motor to have white parts on it, but I think it's going to look quite nice because the wheels is going to be white, so I think the purple and the white it's just gonna break that purple, you know. So while that is busy drying, I'm busy cleaning up the bolts for the valve cover, and then when that's done, I'm gonna leave that stuff for about 2 hours to dry properly. When that's done, I'm gonna put everything up, put the radiator in. When the radiator's in, I can do all the radiator hoses, water hoses, all that stuff. I still have to take off the catch can, wire up the fuel pump. I am going to have to put in a fuel pressure regulator because it's running on a carb, and the fuel pump in here is quite strong because it was a fuel injection ABF motor. And if you guys can see that clutch plate in that area there, I still have to fit that properly. Nice and clean. Now I have to do about 7 more. Thanks to the power of video editing, you guys didn't dare to stand and watch the whole 15 minutes of bolt cleaning. Okay, so next up for the clean is going to be the bracket that holds the coil in place. So let's get to cleaning. Good. Nice and clean. Now it's time for fitment. Boys, so yesterday I left you guys off and I did not show you the actual paint work and stuff I did on the valve cover and the fan cradle. So there it is. The reason for painting everything white was because the wheels is gonna get painted white with a polished dish in it. So I think the white and the white will complement each other, and then it will break the purple a bit. If you guys can look at it like this. So after the paint work is done, I think everything will come together quite nice. I am waiting for the bumpers to come back. I'm gonna do a single headlight grille with a nice eyelet on it. I'll probably do a nice VR6 or VR6 Jetta 3 spoiler on it, just to give you that aesthetics. But there you go, 1.6 carb motor with a white detailing to it. Actually clean up the mounts a bit, it's painted like that. I do have a air filter that will be putting on the carb, so the black piece will, I did paint this black, and I painted the, what you call it, the radiator brackets black. And that's it. For now we're gonna be taking off all the, we're gonna be taking out the side shafts so we can do the CVH on it. And then when that's done, we're probably gonna start with the fuel pump to get the fuel pump in. When the fuel pump is in, we can put the pipes on. We should have fueling. I need to fit the coil still. When the coil is in, I've got the TCI unit in. Wiring is done to it. So we should have spark, and then if I put the battery in, we should be able to start it. So let's all thumbs for that, and let's hope we don't have any problems. So anyways, let's get to work. Okay boys, so side shaft is out, and now to take off this side, this one and that one, and then put the bigger ones on. So I did buy new ones. Again from Volkswagen Shout out to the boys. So let's got some goodies. Excuse the wiring that's laying behind the CVAs, the side shafts. That's all the old alarm wiring I took out. I managed to get the new CV8 on. It looks quite nice, and it's the right size at least, so we won't have any problems installing them now. I didn't take you through the whole process of installing them. I feel a bit ashamed of my little work LC that I'm working out of, so. But nevertheless, let's get this voice back. So boys, okay, quick catch up. So the last part of the video you saw, I was installing the side shafts of the car, and just after we put up new CV joints on the ends on the rear side. After that I didn't record anything, but I went ape on it. I got the total complete water system sorted out, so all the piping is on, there's water, no leaks. I got most of the ignition stuff sorted and got all the cabling put up, all that stuff. So all I need to do now is I still need to do the coil, because I'm still, I don't know, somewhere in all this place I'm still searching for a coil, and I'm also gonna have to do I actually install the fuel pump, all the fuel piping is on, all that stuff. It's just the wire I need to get connected onto the car. So when you switch the car on, the fuel pump automatically starts pumping, because it's not a on the block fuel pump, what do you call it, internal fuel pump, if that's what you call it. So that's where we are now. So now for today, I'm gonna pull the cable and get the cable connected for the fuel pump, get the power connected for the fuel pump, and then I actually did put the ignition on last night to see if there's anything burning or what if my wiring is messed up or something, but nothing went wrong except for my water temp. It shows that it's overheating already just by switching it on, so I think I made a mistake with the wiring. There's that I have to sort out the coil, and then when that's done, you can probably see if we can get this guy started. So in the next video we'll get that started. We'll check for a startup. So for now we're going to finish off this video with quickly checking the wiring for the fuel pump, doing the wiring for the fuel pump, and then getting the coil connected. So I actually managed to pull the cable through yesterday. So this is the cable for the fuel pump. So this was the same cable we used on the old fuel pump when the Golf had a management installed into it. So we're going to use that cable and then pull power from the ignition system on a relay, just so it can switch on and off, and it doesn't pull too much current from the ignition wiring. We're getting closer and closer for this thing to get to paint. Can't wait. Before I start pulling the wire through, let's check what a mess all the cabling was. Everything at the back, then it needs to go for hood lining. Just getting a full new hood lining. So now I'm gonna get this pieces also get covered in black, so everything is nice and black. Black interior just clean. Okay boys, so the cabling is done. Then if you switch it on, I'm sure, just listen, you can see if you can hear the pump. So that's done. So yesterday I finished off with the coil that I need to install, and I got carried away off camera, a lot carried away. So what I actually managed up doing is I put the rear seat back and I finished the car's wiring well, not finished, but I got the ignition to start from the key, finish everything in front, and I got the car started. I wanted to put it on its separate own video, but then, like I said, I got carried away off camera and I just went crazy. So I did change fuses. If you can see, you can still see the mess here, but I managed to change a lot of the fuses on the fuse box. This wire comes to the ignition here, this side actually. So now if you actually hear the car now, it actually does start. As you see in the videos, as you saw in the video, in that small clip where I started the car, it does start. So now next up for the car will be the exhaust, because we don't have forgot the exhaust manifold in there, but we don't have exhaust on it. Well, not a branch. So you guys can see there's the exhaust pipe, but there's no branch that goes up onto the manifold. So now I'm looking for an 8-valve branch. Tomorrow we'll be leaving to go to Joburg to go pick up the bumpers, and then I also want to stop and get a new grille and some new headlights. I'm gonna get the alot piece and then a lower lip on it. See some of the horrible wiring I did, but that was all to sort out the ignition system to get it to work. So now I have to tighten everything down, as you can see here. I'm just turn the cables around the ends. This was what I used to use to actually jump it to start, to get it to work. I fitted the fuel pressure regulator because the carb was out, so I had to take the top part off the carburetor to get the float levels balanced out, because it was leaking petrol from the top here or on the feed piece here. I'm not actually sure if I did show you, but I put the fuel pump in there. The fuel pump supplies too much fuel to the carb, and that's why it was leaking out everywhere. So that's why I ran the fuel pressure regulator. After that, I only saw that we're pressing about 15 to 20 psi on it. I'm not sure how many bar it is, but I'll just put the bar pressure on the bottom, but I think it's very low. It's not even like 1 bar if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, so that I managed to do. I did put a new coil set, or not a new coil setup, but just a new coil there, as you guys can see. I did the negative terminal. I just need to put a lug on it. I just tighten it down with the washer bolt there. I did this. I charged the battery. What else did we do? Oh, we've got new wiring on the DCI unit that goes through to the coil, and so after we got all the parts, take it to paint. From paint it goes to the auto leg, and then when it's coming back from the auto leg, everything should be done and we should be ready to sell it. We're holding thumbs that that's going to be the case. So now that you're up to speed, I think before I leave off, if you guys made it to the end of the video, if you guys see this Mark II headlights, I'm looking for another set of them. So if you do have, or you know where I can find, please drop me a comment down below, or go on to my Instagram and drop me a message there. So that's it. Thank you guys. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.